Thank you for joining us, America. Open phones at 888-825-5225. I don't always take a caller through an entire segment. But, you know, what I was walking through with Marcel there was something you need to understand, because I think it addresses, everyone needs to know that you gotta read to get better. You gotta set a goal into the distance and break the goal down into manageable parts that you take a step through as you climb the ladder to get to the top of the house. It's one step at a time. You don't get to skip a step, and you walk through steps to get to where you're going. If you want to lose weight, if you want a great marriage, there are elements to that, and you need to define that, what it looks like, very, very clearly. And then read about and study people and find other people who are doing better than you at whatever it is you want to do. And in his case, we were talking about his income. And see, that is the problem with the broken argument, why I won't engage the broken argument of we need to increase the minimum wage. Because the minimum wage hasn't got anything to do with anything. It doesn't. Less than 1/10 of 1%. Listen to that. 1/10 of 1% of Americans try to feed their family on the minimum wage. It applies to part-time work, to teenagers, and to a few other things here and there. But 1/10, that means 99.9% of Americans don't live on the minimum wage. Now, he wasn't far above that at $13.50, was he? $13.50 an hour, that's not actually robbing the bank right there, dude. I mean, that's rough. It's tough to pay bills on that money. But he was working 40 hours. He's raising 2 boys by himself. That's a good man right there. But the thing I don't want him to get caught up in is that this political debate indicates is that you're stuck there. You're never stuck. The only place you get stuck is between your ears. You know, I was working for a company one time, and they said, we're going to move you to a different project and let you do 150% more work for 70% of the money. In other words, it gave me a promotion that gave me more work to do for less money. And I was supposed to be thrilled about that somehow. And I was in my 20s. And I said, guys, I'll stay here. I would rather not take that position. Thank you for offering it. It's not palatable to me. I don't want to do that. And people say, well, that company was screwing you. No, they made me a bad offer. And then they came back and said, well, you know, Dave, really, this is your only option. We're not going to leave you in this position. We need you to take that other project. And I said, then pay me. Well, we don't have that budgeted for that. And I said, well, why would you ask anyone to take more work for less money and expect them to be excited about it? Well, you know, this is what corporate says to do, and this is what we're doing. And so, you know, now I got an option at that point. I can either take that job or they're going to fire me. You know what? I discovered there was a third option. I could quit. Because I really don't want to go do more work for less money after I've earned my keep. And on top of that, I don't want to work with people that are this stupid. If this is what they're asking me to do and looking you straight in the face. And so I could sit there and go, this company's screwing me. Well, they didn't screw me. I quit. You know whose fault? If they had screwed me, you know whose fault it would have been? Mine. Because I was dumb enough to stay there. So all these people griping about Walmart doesn't pay, McDonald's doesn't pay. Hey, you know, if you don't like the pay, here's an idea. Leave. Make like a tree. Leave. Be gone. Isn't that an interesting thing? Well, you're not stuck, baby. It's America. You can cut grass, walk dogs. You're not stuck. You can babysit. Babysitters in America. Babysitting kids, teenage girls, make $15 to $20 an hour. That's if you can get one. And all the parents out there said amen. $15, $20 an hour. You can make a lot more than that mowing grass. You got your own lawnmower. Oh, that's dirty and sweaty work, though. I'll tell you, I've done it. I got hay fever, too. My eyes used to swell shut. It's the dumbest looking thing. But you know what? You're not stuck. You are not stuck. That's the message of Marcel's call. You can read a book, take a class, move on to the next thing. You are not a victim. And your life is not a snapshot. It is a film strip. It is continuously moving. So get in the flow, baby. Get in the zone. There is stuff you can do. And you know, the problem is we keep telling people they can't. And you know what? Some of them believe you. You keep telling people they can't long enough, you know what they do? They can't. Zig Ziglar used to say, my buddy used to say, he said, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. You tell people long enough you can't make it. The economy is fixed. The structural flaws of the economy. That's a favorite liberal phrase right there. I like that phrase. The structural flaws of the economy. Translation, the little man can't get ahead. We're stuck. We need communism. The structural flaws of the economy. You don't have control of. Horatio Alger's dead. You don't have control of your future. Well, you're going to have trouble convincing me of that. Because, see, I started with nothing, became a millionaire by the time I was 26. I was so stupid I lost it all, and I started again, and now I'm a multimillionaire. And I'm so dumb I had to do it twice. I'm the little man that got ahead twice. And I'm not genius, and I'm not pretty enough for television. That's why I'm on radio. God help you people that watch me online. We're sorry. It's like watching ugly paint dry. We know. But you're stuck with it. And you know, it is what it is, y'all. You know, hard work, tell the truth, find somebody needs some help and help them. You're not stuck. You're not a victim. You can read books, find someone to mentor and disciple you. You can set some goals, take the incremental steps to get there, and in 10 years double, triple, or quadruple your income, and do it in a field that you love. You are not stuck, and don't you let liberals tell you you're stuck. You're not stuck. This is the greatest country the world has ever known. This is the greatest country the world has ever known. Never in the history of man has an economy been so vibrant with so many opportunities for anyone in any station of life, any color, sex, creed, national origin, could get ahead faster than they can right now today in the United States of America. And yet we have people running around all over the place bad-mouthing her. Stop it. Every time you badmouth her, you tell a young person they can't succeed. Don't tell young people they can't succeed. We need them to succeed. We need the inventions that are in their souls and in their brains. Some of them are walking around with how to cure cancer in their head. Don't tell them they can't succeed. Some of them are walking around and know how to solve they'll solve the entire energy problem, and it's in 2 or 3 of them's head if you don't tell them they can't succeed. And so they live in their mother's basement playing Nintendo instead of going and succeeding. Tell them they can win. Tell them they can win. And believe they can win when you're telling them that. See, that's what Marcel's call was about. Because Marcel's a 24-year-old guy. Wife left him with 2 little kids. He's making $13.50 an hour. But that's not Marcel's destiny. It's not his destiny. He made a phone call to a weird radio station, weird radio show. I just sent that guy like 25 books just now. He reads every one of those books. I'll guarantee you, if he reads every one of those books within a year, his income will double. I'll guarantee you. What do you want to bet I'm right? He's not stuck until he decides he's stuck, or until you tell him he's stuck long enough that he believes he's stuck. He's not stuck. He's got a future. And don't you steal it from him either. You tell him he can win. You know why? Because he can really win. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.